Welcome to my channel, Worldwise. This is gonna blow your mind. Little St. James, often called Epstein Island, was a place of luxury and extravagance. This 72-acre private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands was a haven for the rich and powerful. Owned by financier Jeffrey Epstein, the island boasted opulent amenities including a lavish mansion, private docks, a library, and even a cinema. It was a place where exclusive parties were thrown, and where some of the world's elite were invited to enjoy the tranquility and privacy it offered. The island's allure was not just in its physical beauty, but also in the exclusivity it promised. It was frequented by celebrities and influential figures drawn by the promise of luxury and the mystique surrounding its owner. Epstein's private jet, infamously dubbed the Lolita Express, often brought guests to this secluded paradise. The island was a symbol of wealth and power, a place where the elite could escape the public eye. However, its opulent facade concealed a troubling reality. Despite its beauty and luxurious offerings, Little St. James harbored dark secrets. The very exclusivity that made the island appealing also made it a fortress where illicit activities could occur away from prying eyes. The guests, unknowingly or otherwise, were part of a facade that hid sinister deeds beneath its luxurious surface. It was only when the surface was scratched that the true nature of Epstein Island began to emerge. As investigations unfolded, it became clear that beneath the veneer of luxury lay a web of deceit and exploitation. The island was not just a sanctuary for the elite, it was a hub of criminal activity that would shock the world. Jeffrey Epstein's journey began in humble Brooklyn. Born in 1953, he taught math at the Dalton School before moving into finance. Founding J. Epstein and Company, he managed fortunes for billionaires like Les Wexner. Epstein's wealth grew rapidly, shrouded in mystery. He owned lavish properties, including a Manhattan mansion and Little St. James. These assets became venues for his illicit activities, attracting the powerful and elite. For years, Epstein used his wealth and connections to evade justice. Jeffrey Epstein was not just a wealthy financier, he was a man embedded in the intricate web of power and influence. His connections with some of the world's most prominent figures provided a shield against scrutiny and prosecution. Among his acquaintances were political leaders, royalty, and celebrities, all of whom contributed to the aura of legitimacy and untouchability surrounding him. The extent of Epstein's network became apparent through the release of flight logs and photos. Former President Bill Clinton was reported to have flown on Epstein's private jet multiple times, though he denied any wrongdoing. Prince Andrew, another high-profile associate, faced accusations from Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims. A photograph of the prince with Giuffre became a damning piece of evidence, leading to significant reputational damage and legal consequences. Epstein's connections extended to the corporate world and academia as well. Figures like Lawrence H. Summers found themselves caught in the fallout as documents revealed correspondence with Epstein even amid ongoing investigations. These relationships underscored the depth of Epstein's influence and how he was able to use his wealth to forge bonds with those who could offer protection or legitimacy. For years, Epstein's powerful alliances allowed him to evade justice. His money and connections provided a formidable defense, enabling him to manipulate the legal system and avoid accountability. This web of influence not only protected Epstein, but also highlighted the systemic failures that allowed such a predator to operate freely for so long. The Epstein scandal drew in a host of notable figures, each playing a pivotal role in the drama that unfolded. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate, was instrumental in his criminal activities and was later convicted for her role. Prince Andrew's involvement brought a royal dimension, with accusations placing him at the center of Epstein's network. Former President Bill Clinton faced scrutiny for his association with Epstein, though he denied knowledge of any wrongdoing. Donald Trump's past friendship with Epstein also raised questions, especially after photos of them together surfaced. The unraveling of Jeffrey Epstein's web of abuse can be traced back to the bravery of Courtney Wild. In March 2005, Wild filed the first complaint against Epstein, initiating a police investigation in Palm Beach, Florida. Her courage marked the beginning of the end for Epstein's unchecked reign of terror. Despite the odds, her resolve to seek justice played a pivotal role in exposing Epstein's crimes. Wild's allegations and the subsequent investigation uncovered a trove of evidence. Photos, flight logs, and names emerged, leading to the Epstein files. These documents provided a shocking insight into the extent of Epstein's operations. The evidence revealed a pattern of systematic abuse. The investigation faced significant challenges from powerful legal teams. Yet, the persistence of investigators and the tenacity of Wild pushed the case forward. Their stories began to find a platform, exposing Epstein's crimes. Wild's bravery inspired other victims to come forward, leading to Epstein's rearrest in 2019. Her role highlights the importance of courage and resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity. The 2008 plea deal granted to Jeffrey Epstein remains one of the most controversial aspects of his legal saga. Despite overwhelming evidence of his crimes, Epstein was allowed to plead guilty to lesser charges in exchange for a lenient sentence. This secret agreement was orchestrated by U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta and resulted in Epstein serving just 13 months in a county jail with work release privileges, a far cry from the justice his victims sought. The plea deal was shrouded in secrecy, with many of Epstein's victims unaware of its terms until after it was finalized. The lack of transparency and consultation with the victims was a grave miscarriage of justice. It highlighted systemic failures within the legal system, where wealth and influence could skew the scales of justice in favor of the powerful. The outcry following the revelation of the plea deal was swift and intense. Victims and their advocates criticized the agreement as a betrayal, a sentiment echoed by the public and media. The deal exemplified how Epstein leveraged his connections to escape the full consequences of his actions, perpetuating a cycle of abuse and impunity. In the years following the deal, renewed efforts emerged to hold Epstein accountable. The resurfacing of allegations and the relentless pursuit of justice by journalists and victims alike reignited public interest in the case. The flawed plea deal became a catalyst for change, prompting legal reforms and increased scrutiny of plea bargains in cases involving sexual abuse. The saga of Epstein Island remains a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity and the failures of justice. The FBI's raids uncovered not just physical evidence, but also the extent of the emotional and psychological scars left on the victims. The compensation fund established after Epstein's death distributed over $121 million to more than 150 survivors, offering some measure of restitution for their suffering. Yet the quest for justice continues. Legal battles over sealed documents and the release of the Epstein files remain ongoing. The heavily redacted documents released by the Department of Justice fuel speculation about the full extent of Epstein's network and the potential cover-up of high-profile involvement. These files, while revealing, also underscore the need for transparency and accountability. The victims' fight for justice has inspired a broader movement against sexual exploitation and abuse. Their courage in speaking out has encouraged others to break their silence and demand accountability from those in power. This movement has highlighted the systemic issues that allowed Epstein's crimes to persist, and the urgent need for reform. The story of Epstein Island is far from over. It serves as a stark reminder of the need for vigilance, advocacy, and reform to prevent such abuses from occurring in the future. The legacy of Epstein Island is a call to action, a demand for justice, and a testament to the resilience of those who refuse to be silenced. My next video is up. Watch it now.